This video, if you are not an emotional person, you can scroll. Or if you have an emotional person in your corner, then I think you should keep watching. You know what's funny? People always say things like this to me. Oh, you're too emotional, you're too sensitive, or you take things too personally, you're too much. Like, I'm so used to all those things. But what people don't actually talk about is what it actually feels like to move through this world, this life, as someone who feels things deeply. And I think for myself and for people that can relate, I think we spend so much of ourselves trying to become less much, right? We're really expressive, we get hurt deeply, we feel things deeply, right? So we now try to start being less reactive. We're really soft, we try to be less soft, be less attached, less expressive, less affected, less everything. Because for me, I just think that somewhere along the line, the world made it feel like people that feel things deeply, something is wrong with them. I've caught myself a lot of times like asking myself why I'm this way, why am I this emotional? Like, there are other people that are not like as emotional as I am, and like I just do not feel normal, and I always feel like something is wrong with me. So if you're an emotional person, of course I've said it before, this is from an emotional person to another. So take this as a safe space for you. If you're anything like me, you probably feel things in full volume. I'm a 100% or zero type girl. There's no half anything with me. If I'm not feeling it, I'm just not feeling it. And if I'm feeling it, it's in full volume. I notice tone changes immediately. I would overanalyze situations, messages. I would replay conversations in my head for days, for months, for weeks. I can tell when somebody's energy changes even before they say anything. I would absorb my environment. I care so deeply. Oh my God, if I care, hey God. Unfortunately, I hurt deeply too. So for the longest time, I thought being an emotional person or being emotional was a weakness, because why does it have to get to this stage? Why do I have to think of, like, it just felt like this wasn't normal, because I used to react to everything, every single thing. Sometimes it can be dramatic, like reacting to things. Other times it's even internal, like reacting internally. I think is even worse, because you're just in your head. Something really small could ruin my entire day and could ruin the entire year, month for me. Something disappointing will sit in my chest for weeks, for months, for years. Oh my God. And any form of misunderstanding will affect my work, appetite, my peace. Any small thing just comes for everything around and everything in me. One thing I want you to take away, if you didn't know this, is they're usually not reacting because, they are crazy, because people make us feel like we're crazy. They react because they care. Really, most times it's because they care. If they don't care, like you just won't see them react, express all those things. It won't happen. And that's the part people don't understand. And they don't realize that when emotional people love you, they love you. Like, you don't even need to reciprocate. When they say this person, I love this person, they actually really love that person. They would overextend grace. They would remember every little details about you. They'll always think about your feelings. They will show up fully for you every single time. It doesn't make them like really good people, because we are all flawed, obviously. Like, we have our flaws. It doesn't make them these are the best people in the world. But these are the things that you actually, if you're an emotional person, we give so much of ourselves to people, so much of ourselves, our feelings, our emotions. We give so much to people. And the dangerous part, or what I've realized, emotional people rarely protect themselves as much as they protect others. They actually really abandon and neglect themselves. I realized this the hard way, because that used to be me. I would find myself excusing things. I would understand everybody else's behavior except my pain. I'll start over explaining things to people because I want them to really understand me. Sometimes I even convince myself that you overreacted, that was you overreacting, because I want to try to make the other person feel good or better. And then I started noticing that I'll stay soft in situations that are like legit trying to harden me. And honestly, one thing nobody really prepares emotional people for is how exhausting it becomes to constantly feel everything. If I'm being honest, it's actually really, really tiring. It is draining. I think I made a tweet that my mind never actually shut off. My brain is always working overtime. My mind is always working, because guess what? I'm overthinking 24/7. I'm feeling 24/7. I'm replaying and replaying, and I never let go. And eventually, in doing this and in becoming aware of these things, I realized that being emotional without strong boundaries will destroy you, because like I've been in situations where, yes, being emotional almost or even destroyed me, or destroyed the situation, or destroyed something. It can be very destructive without strong boundaries. That was like the biggest lesson for me, that these that you have can actually destroy you. So I'm not saying that like we should stop feeling how we feel. I'm not saying that we should start becoming cold towards people. I can't even do all that because it's not me. And I'm not saying that you should just stop caring about things you actually care for. But it's important that we know that, yeah, we are emotional people. We can be emotional, and we can still protect ourselves. Like I had to learn this the hard way. Like you're emotional, but you need to actually start prioritizing yourself and protecting yourself, protecting your energy, because guess who gets drained all the time? You. And to some extent, to a large extent even, this has changed my life, and it's just something I wish I knew earlier in life, earlier in my 20s, earlier when I was younger. I just feel like I would have protected myself more. I would have protected my peace more. I would have prioritized myself and not abandon myself. I've never really thought that healing meant being unbothered. I've never really been in that side of the world where people want to actually act like they are not bothered anymore. But a lot of people, I know people can just say, oh, people can think healing means, being unbothered. If you think like that, I want you to change that and start seeing healing as, yeah, you can still feel things, but you don't let these things that you feel consume you anymore. You can still feel deeply. You can still cry. I cry almost every day, by the way. You can still love hard, care, do all those things you do. But guess what? You don't have to react to anything anymore. This is one thing I wish I knew earlier, because I'm so reactive. I'm extremely reactive. If there are 10 reactive people in this life, I'm top 2. I used to be so reactive. And I wish I wasn't so reactive. I wish I learned how to stop being reactive earlier. I've been through situations where I had enough self-control to not react to things anymore. And I'm like, well, I did that. That means I can even do it. And since I actually stopped reacting to things, life has been better. It took a lot of work going from someone that used to be so reactive to seeing something that is upsetting you or something you want to talk about, and then you're now trying to not react. Is a lot of work. But now I just genuinely just pause. And that pause has saved me from so many things. And I've also realized not everything deserves access to my emotions anymore. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not everything deserves an explanation. Not everyone or every opinion deserves emotional access to you, to be honest. Emotional people especially need to learn this, because we give emotional access too quickly. We find us internalizing everything, even things that is not our business. Like, why are you carrying another person's stuff? You find us carrying it on top of our heads. For example, I replayed a situation in my head where I was like really extremely emotional and like out of control. I was thinking, okay, if this had gone this way and you were less reactive, you weren't trying to over-explain your part too much, you weren't trying to be understood, and like if I was calm, like, and I wasn't like really emotional, you would have actually protected your peace more. And I was like, yeah. And I always, in situations where I want to react, I'm like, you don't have to do all those things, right? You genuinely don't have to do all those things, and you will protect your peace more if you're not doing all those things anymore. I was like, it would have like played out differently if you were calm, if you're less emotional. And this is what I say to myself whenever I want to react, that just be calm, pause. You'll get over this soon, and you'll not even remember or think about this son again. So do not react. Another thing I've realized is, apart from me, emotional people I have met too, they are very, very empathetic. Empathy is beautiful. Being an empathetic person is so beautiful, until it starts making you abandon yourself. You start understanding people so much that you excuse behavior that actually hurts you. You become the understanding person. Is this person now should understand? Is that person now should understand? She won't think much into it. She's soft-hearted. She'll forgive you. And after a while, something will make you be in the position where you look around and you see that nobody's actually handling you the gentleness you give them. I don't know if you can relate to this, but that would break you because it hurts so bad. And I think because of this, I've seen situations where like people that are really empathetic, they now slowly start losing that empathy, that empathetic side of them, because they have been hurt too much. You're now more guarded, you're now like more detached from things, people. It almost feels like you're even losing yourself in the process. And honestly, one of the hardest things is trying not to let this pain you've experienced turn you cold. I've been in this phase where I've been learning. I had like very weak boundaries before, but since I started building strong boundaries, I've actually been learning that building boundaries is not, you being cruel, giving people distance, giving situations things distance, silence and all that. It's not about being wicked. Since I started doing it, I just say this is self-preservation. And in doing this, to be honest, you're going to get a lot of this person is evil, this person is wicked, this and that. But remember that for a long time, for example, I'm in my late 20s, and for most of my life, I've been an emotional person that would give so much to people, give myself to people, and like abandon myself. Now imagine I'm choosing myself in my late 20s and I'm protecting myself. Even if I'm called wicked, selfish, don't I deserve it? Right, I do. So I wish emotional people or people like me understood this sooner, because I really wish this was something I knew like really early on in life. Because I've been like choosing myself, I'm now like finally learning that I deserve that softness I pour into people. I deserve it in my life as well. I think you need certain reminders as an emotional person. You deserve to be really understood. We are misunderstood a lot. 95% of the time we're highly misunderstood, and you deserve to be understood. You deserve that much understanding, that understanding you give to people, and that makes you overextend and all that. You deserve it. You deserve softness. Most importantly, you deserve people that handle your heart like with gentleness. Of course, we're abnormal people. We're the people that feel like we're not normal. And to be honest, being emotional is not always a bad thing. The world make it seem like, it's just embarrassing to be emotional because like what the biggest crash outs and whatever. But like emotional people are actually really beautiful people. Like, of course, we're not the best people because we have our flaws. Everyone does. I like to infuse that before anybody comes to quote me and say I'm the best person in the world. I'm not. I'm wicked. I'm whatever you call me. But I know that I'm an emotional person. Because like, think about it. Think about every emotional person you know, or think about yourself. We're always like really creative. We are always safe spaces to people. We never really judge people. We create safe spaces for other people. We feel things deeply. Think about it. It's just very beautiful to actually have that type of power. We make people feel seen. We notice like little details. We always think of how to make people happy, even when it's not beneficial to you, or when you are giving so much. Like, you just want the person to feel seen, satisfied, happy. And some of the kindest, some of the nicest people you'd ever meet are people who know what pain feels like deeply. Me being an emotional person, before I used to think, how do I fix this? I don't think it's something that is broken in me that I have to fix. I don't think like that anymore. I just now think, or I just now know that this is something I have to manage wisely so it doesn't destroy me. Because obviously, with experience, with things I've been through, unmanaged emotions can actually destroy you and destroy so many years of work that you've done on yourself or within yourself. But emotions that you can now manage, or healed emotions, managed emotions, they make you human in the best way possible. If you are anything like me, if you're emotional, you have a soft heart, you're sensitive like me, I just want to remind you that you are not too much. Don't listen to anybody calling you too much. You just probably feel life really deeply and like different from a lot of people. So please protect yourself. If you don't know how to build boundaries yet, start learning to build boundaries. And most importantly, this is my superpower now, stop reacting to everything. But remember, don't lose yourself trying to survive, because the world already like has a lot of cold people. And to be honest, I hope you get to this stage too. I think emotional people, they keep apologizing for how soft they are, for being soft, for their softness. Until one day they realize my softness has never been the problem. It's just like the lack of protection around everything that has always been the problem. I'm happy I'm finally learning balance, and I hope you now start learning how to balance and how to manage your emotions, because we also have so much work to do. Nobody can do the work for us except ourselves. So from one emotional person to another, I understand you totally. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have tips, if you really have things you want to share in the comments about being an emotional person, anything at all, just leave it in the comments and I'll be there to reply. Other people will be there to reply too, because I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. And then subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. Like, I'm the most inconsistent YouTuber ever, but sometimes I just have this energy to yap, and that's why we're here. So bye.